Hey everyone, it's Rachel for Swine and People of Ag Media. I'm here with Spencer from Genesus Pork. Thank you, Spencer.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, so it's been a year since we've spoken in person. What are you feeling this year at World Pork?
Well, I think there's optimism in the air. The industry has been through a hell of a time for the last year plus. Last year at World Pork, we were talking about the same thing about the losses that people were feeling, but we're seeing the market starting to move up, and that's good. There's hope for people for the future here that we can get back to some profitability because people are in a big hole. This year, I would say the turnout has been pretty good overall. It's always good to be back here in Des Moines for the expo and see familiar faces, see new faces, and I think for the industry, it feels like we gotta hope, I guess, at this point. Hope isn't a business plan, but at the end of the day, we're starting to see the market turn, and hopefully that can provide people with some sustained profitability so they can get out of the massive holes that they felt for the last year plus.
I feel like this year's feeling around here is there's a lot more optimism and a lot more people showing out in the crowds, which is great to see. What has been a success story for you from customers that you're hearing?
I guess success story, most of us were hearing, well, as far as the Genesis customers go, they have very low sow mortality compared to the industry average at 15%. We've got customers that are running Prop 12 farms that are in around the 3% range, which is unheard of compared to other genetic companies. And so that's a success story. Another one is certainly our meat quality that we're seeing in the industry. We've worked on it for 26 years as a company with our Jersey Red Duroc, and what we see is that we have far and away the best marbling, the best color, the best eating attributes that you want in meat. And so for us, that's something we've been passionate about. We've invested millions of dollars into it. We continue to do it, and we're starting to see the industry move in that direction more, whereas before it was lean, and pork that tastes more like chicken. But now we're starting to see some of the bigger companies are showing real interest, and are actually investing themselves into producing better tasting pork and using our Duroc as well.
So with the Prop 12 situations that are going on in sow farms now, how does that affect things from a Genesis standpoint in your genetics? Do you have to breed differently? What are some of the things that the grower might not realize from your perspective?
Yeah, I guess from our perspective, what we see with our sows is they're a lot calmer than what we see with some of our competitors, specifically the European genetic lines, where we see a lot of sow mortality, sow fighting, whether that be bad legs, going out on their hooves. From our genetic standpoint, we haven't changed a heck of a whole lot as far as how we're breeding our pigs and what we're looking for compared when we look at Prop 12 compared to what we were doing previously, just because the sow that we have built over these number of years is a sow that works quite well in the Prop 12 in those better in those environments that are more in those Prop 12 type environments. So I guess from that perspective, we haven't changed a heck of a whole lot, but what we see is we've got a pig that works quite well in those situations.
Have you noticed any change in the trends that you're seeing? That's a question that Jim really likes at Swine. Are you noticing any trends changing, because of the pork environment, or just in your genetics alone from a Genesis standpoint?
In the environment itself, I guess, as far as trends go, obviously what we're seeing is just further consolidation in the industry. We see that across, whether that be in the United States and other countries around the world. We're seeing more and more family farms kind of go out of business or just quit the industry altogether. I think there's a generational change that we're seeing specifically in the United States and the Western countries, where you're having older people that are still on the farm, and a lot of their kids are either not coming back to the farm or just not interested in coming back and working on the pig farm after they go and get educated for a lot of them. Genetically, trends, what we see is that other genetic companies are starting to see the value of producing better tasting pork, and they're actually investing their own money into doing it, because what we've done over the last 26 years, they're seeing the momentum that it's starting to, it's been building over time, but now we're starting to see it legitimately where other companies are interested. And so genetically, you've got some of the bigger ones saying, okay, well, yeah, we actually want to start producing better tasting pork, whereas they never talked about that before. So I would say those are definitely some trends we see.
I will say, just from a consumer standpoint, you're seeing a lot more people wanting to sell their pork personally or under their own family brand. Do you work with a lot of different sizes of farms from a Genesis standpoint?
Yeah, well, I mean, so we do the World Mega Producer every year. We've done business with over 20 of those essentially 50 companies with 100,000 sows or more. So we're working with some of the biggest ones, and then we also have little farms with maybe just a few dozen sows. So I mean, there's quite the variation between that. Obviously, very different customers too that you're dealing with, but it's all different sizes for sure.
How can people get a hold of you if they want to learn more about your genetics?
Sure, yeah, they can go to genesis.com. If they want to get on the email list, they can email me at spencerlong@genesis.com, all one word, at genesis.com, and they can get in touch with me. We put out lots of information, whether it be commentaries, market reports, technical reports, other information on our email list. That gets sent to 30,000 people a week, so we've got quite the footprint and are willing to give lots of information, and I'd be more than willing to talk to anybody about further opportunities with Genesis.
Well, thank you for taking the time, and good luck to Genesis this year.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Appreciate it.